Hello, this is Deacon Don Larose with Holy Family Church, bringing you a short message for today. There was an earthquake this past Sunday during the 9 a.m. Mass. Some people there felt it, others didn't. As I understand it, it was a 3.6 magnitude earthquake centered around New Bedford, Mass. Maybe because the earthquake happened during church, I don't know, but the earthquake reminded me of the earthquakes that took place at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. The Gospel of Matthew tells us that from noon onward, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And when Jesus died, the earth quaked, rocks were split, and tombs opened. For most of my life, I thought the story of the darkness and earthquakes was a myth or a legend, some sort of symbolic invention to demonstrate the significance of Jesus' death. But then not long ago, I read about a writing by a Greek historian by the name of Thales, who wrote in the 50s AD about a darkness and earthquakes happening at the time of Jesus' crucifixion. So that was somewhere around 20 years after Jesus' death. His writings no longer exist, but a historian in Jerusalem by the name of Julius Africanus wrote his History of the World in about 221 AD, and he recalled the story that Thales had written. Julius said that Thales wrote, quote, "On the whole world there pressed a most fearful darkness, and the rocks were rent by earthquake, and many places in Judea and other districts were thrown down." So these are writings from outside of the Bible, and they back up what Matthew had written in his gospel. Often I wonder, of the many people who have fallen away from the faith, or have just stopped going to church, how many have fallen away because the depth of their belief has faded during this secular age? I've read surveys that have quoted some folks who no longer believe, many of them younger in age, who say that they're people of science and that they need facts in order to believe something. They say that believing in things that they were taught in church is outdated and that there's no evidence. How many people have fallen away from the faith because they just aren't aware of how much evidence is out there for them to learn about? One of the most powerful things about Christianity is that it is a religion based on actual historical events. It's about real historical people living in a historical time and place. And there actually is quite a bit of real-world facts and evidence to back it all up. There are a great many books that are out there that present that evidence extremely well. They're usually found in Amazon or in a bookstore section of Christian apologetics. Apologetics doesn't mean to apologize for something. It means to make a case in defense of something, in this case, the foundations of Christianity. What's different about books on Christian apologetics is that these books do not preach about Christianity. They provide facts and use reasoning to make powerful arguments in search of the truth about the faith. If you know someone who's fallen away from the church and you think it might be due to a weakened sense of belief in what the church teaches, perhaps a spouse, grown children, or a friend, I would suggest the possibility of making a present of a book on Christian apologetics to them as a Christmas present this year. Some of my favorites that are ideal for giving to someone in that situation might be The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. Lee Strobel has written many good books on Christian apologetics, on the faith. He was originally an atheist, and he was in his research on the subject, he became converted to a Christian. Another good book is God Breathed by Josh McDowell. Josh McDowell is the most prolific American writer on Christian apologetics. Talks a lot about proofs for the existence of God. Another book that's outstanding is I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist by Norman Geisler. Fantastic reasoning, great research, great depth of his writing. And the last one that I'll mention is Who Moved the Stone by Frank Morrison. This book was written over 100 years ago, and it's very small and thin. You can see it's well tabbed here. But he makes a lot of brilliant insights that are very common sense observations, but they're very powerful. So I recommend checking out Who Moved the Stone. There are many others, great many others. And again, you'll find them all in Christian apologetics in your bookstore or on Amazon. What could be a better present to give for Christmas than the gift of faith? Thank you.